Yeah. Waarom is die thing niet maximaal? I think something like this. It's already on YouTube. Oh, I lost my tabs. Strange. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Hello, no name. The vulkan pipeline CharacteristicRangeData has no member name prepare combined image sampler declaration. Prepare combined. What? Weird things are happening here. Oops, not top. It is on normal. Skipping over normal. This one is on top. Okay. This one is at layer normal. This, the other window that you can't see, is a layer top. And it's below. Yeah, this one is on top and this is normal. What the? I don't get this, man. Layer. Let's put it as high as possibly can go. Now this one layer is on normal. I'm sitting at the bottom. Okay, now I don't see it in it all anymore. I think I'm gonna close this one. Yeah, the bottom is maybe a bit too far down. Can I not see it at all anymore now? Probably not. Totally gone. Ridiculous. What is this? Movies. What is this? Okay. Oops, should close that, I guess. What is this? That's the one I want. Put this at normal. Thank you very much. Now put this at top. Oh, now it's on top. Boogie, 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 boogie. Okay, so this function here. Copy it. Search it here. What's here? Okay, so that is part of add shader stage, not shader input data. We already moved it. Combined image sampler updater. So difficult. Okay, I'll have to hide this. Don't want to see that. Who's calling that? Quit. No. Said quit. Nobody's calling it. Prepare combined image sampler declaration. Prepare shader resource declaration. Okay, let's assume that's the one then. Combined image sampler updater. Is that a shader resource? Shader resource base. Yep, that is a shader resource base. Okay. So yeah, that's the one that this is where it is called from. Which is add shader stage. Okay, that means that I think only one thing, can only mean one thing, right? That prepare shader resource declaration no. Prepare combined image sample. That's one. Just I think I just have to move past this, I guess. Prepare shader resource declaration. Oh, that's where it is being called, I guess. No, yes, it is. Prepare uniform buffer declaration. ABX, hello. coloration. Nobody knows where that went to. It's super annoying. Add shader stage as well. Prepare shader declaration. No rights in the last change. Did I hear a beep? Good, right, quit. Be right back. Yeah. Oh, I'm back. Okay. Add shadow stage. What is it? Pipeline. Add shadow stage. Yeah. Whatever. No declaration matches. Well, thing still lives here. In memo function, vulkan pipeline add shader stage, prepare shader resource declarations. Called prepare shader resource declarations was not declared in this scope. So how is everyone? It is a very difficult task, this, because I'm kind of what's the word? Sailing blind, translated from Dutch-ish. It's too much work, so it's like seeing only a small part of a very large room, and everything is a mess. And then you have to reorder it. So the only thing you can do is try to remember as much as possible. Walk around a little bit, look here, look there. And then you walk around and you see a cupboard that has been thrown over a couch and table that lays on its side. And you think, well, let's start with putting all the tables together in one corner. So you take up the table and you walk somewhere, and then you start walking around more and you see another table at some point. And then you have to find back where you put the first table. So that's basically the feeling I have here. Excuse me more. Didn't change anything, did I? I didn't. So this Boolean, for example, it was dubious to begin with. So I did call something from a central place, but that was called multiple times, potentially. And the prepare shader resource declarations only needs to be done once. So I created Boolean and then just said, well, the first time I'm going to call it, and then it sets it to true, so that the next time I won't call it anymore. But that checking is done here. And if now I look at it, it's in add shader stage, which is now, not central anymore. So it's still going to be called multiple times, but I'm not convinced that I only want to do this once. Sorry. And if I do, then it's definitely not working at the moment. So I'm not sure what to do with the Boolean at all. Probably have to rethink about when and from where to call it, and then how often, and if only once is needed, and how to limit it. If I want to limit it still with the Boolean, I was going for test. This is not the test I was looking for. There's a different error. Sorry, I was looking for this one. TPS. This test. So this now might need to call it more often, and it would be nice if I just knew, But even that oversight I do not have. So stumbling around in the dark. How do I make progress? Prepare shader resource declaration. does it exactly do? I'm also getting a bit tired of the fact that with this font, it's not formatted right. The lines are too long. Maybe I should start editing my code so it just looks okay with this font. Because, well, for a very long time now, I have not been coding with any other thing. It's a very narrow thing, I have to say. I don't like to break up a line with a single equal sign, just because I have such humongous long variable names and stuff. So normally I use this. It's very readable for me. And at least then stuff like that fits. Right, so what is it doing? Okay. I only want to call this function once all the characteristics have finished providing the data that it needs. But I'm not sure what that exactly is, really, which is stupid, but yeah. I guess that what that is this thing must be finished. I think I need to start making some guards in it. Start writing code that I can add in order to assure the correct order in which things are executed. Because I totally lost the oversight and I have to do such a big change now that it just... The best way I can think of to fix this is by just making a search and then let our search fire and then understand what is going on. But writing that code is also a lot of work, unfortunately. It's like having a set of variables that I want to turn a switch and say, okay, now you can write to it. And then at the moment that I feel that I'm done writing to it, I can turn the switch back, saying, okay, now I'm done writing to it. And then, of course, when I try to write to it again, while the switch is already turned, that must assert. And then code that reads the information must demand that the switch was already turned to done writing. Then I would have some runtime check on the correct order in which things happen. But okay, this particular thing so this is called the first time I called preprocess 1. That was the idea. And I think that it's not about preprocess 1. It's needed for the first time I execute preprocess 1. But the reason that I can do it there is because I have already pipeline, shadow builder. What is this? Again, pipeline. Okay, let's not do that. Tests. CD textures. VI window.h. I think that the preprocess is being called here. Yeah, but what was important is that all these things already have been called, all of them. Now this is being done in initialize, and it is true that all the characteristics finish initialize before the first one starts doing the fill. So all characteristics do this, and then when they're all done, and they are waiting here, I think. No, they're waiting in the base class. And then all of them do this. And there is no add here, so that works. But I have another class now, here. And that does do an add. So this is a problem. I need to wait for this add to have happened before any characteristic can execute preprocess 1, and therefore this does not work. Now I'm gonna wonder why this add is here. Well, the add is here in fill because I want to pretend that it depends on the range. It's not a one-time thing, but every time is different. But still, I need them all to be done before I can continue with preprocess. So I think I need a new state here. Now, this is actually also part of fill. This one is called compile, so let's make a new state called preprocess. And then I can do that here, I guess. I'm gonna call that preprocess. Preprocess. But yeah, and then what goes in front of that? This thing has a open something, so I have to close that as well here. and it creates that window is maybe used also down here. It is. So I need to redo that then. Plus I need a wait here, and that wait is kind of similar to waiting for compiling. So that would be something like this. Set a continue state, set a run state to filled. I just need to copy this, I guess, something like that. It's all pretty horrible. Once it works, maybe I can make it more beautiful, but at the moment it's still very messy and clumsy. Anyway, the continuous state is pretty clearly preprocess. And then, yeah, preprocessed, I guess. Oops. The run state now becomes, wait, what was it? Filled, yeah. That would still be filled. But the one here is then preprocessed. Yeah, so now we still have this fill, and then the fill ends here and wants to continue at the preprocess, but it cannot. It has to wait for all the other tasks to be filled. It's not really filled though, you know. It's like we just added something, just a little part of filled. I think I should switch the name also. But let's do that afterwards, because otherwise I change too many things at once. Hey, Post Bunny. So adding these things, let's start with this one. Preprocess comes after fill and before compile. And then after compile I want to continue to fill again. Okay, then I added a new run state here. This one, CharacteristicRange preprocessed. When the preprocess thing is done, and that's from the base class. Yeah, good question. this is characteristic, which might be different again. I'm not understanding the comment. I think that compiled is being hidden, or yeah, it's private stuff. That's what's hidden, I guess. Oh, no, I get it. Yeah, it's it's making the things of the base class private. I'm getting it. Yeah, we're still having all the states here. So my guess would be that I need it added here as well. Jacob, hello. For a few minutes only. Yeah, well, okay. Thank you for saying something. There's still, you know, on average, I mean, I have a few regulars that hang out hours. And then the average view time is still like 3.5 minutes. So there must be a lot of people who really leave quickly, which I completely understand, by the way, but yeah. I'm coding. I'm just coding, man. Shall I add here preprocessed? Process. Here we have a field. Oh, it's compiled, preprocessed. I know the fill here is, the fill doesn't exist. That's the thing. But then it's a preprocessed. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to the base class, I guess. Which is here. It's more clear. CharacteristicRange preprocessed. Dude, oh, really? How do you write that? Preprocessed. Okay, I don't know. I have a brain fart. Processed. Got it. Aprilia, yeah, yes. Okay, this one then also should be hidden, I guess. So we should add it here. And then that's the only thing that appears. Should we switch here? I'd rather do the characteristic range things first. So still look at that. I have a preprocessed. Yeah. Okay, then I need to add it here. Case characteristic range preprocessed. And that it more or less does the same thing as this, but a little bit different. For a start, it calls not compiled but preprocessed. Set state, characteristic range, continue, terminate, same thing. Expected is this one expects compiled, so I guess that this is still compiled then. On this one now changed in preprocessed. Way to do compile, yeah, then now is it changed into way to do preprocess. And then this must be do compile. Max, no, you don't get it. I'm expected state. That looks okay. I know I added a new signal. Do preprocess. Yeah, I added one here as well. I guess so. Okay, why is this? Characteristic, preprocessed, and then characteristic compiled. That's what I see here. And then here I have characteristic filled followed by preprocessed and then compiled for the range. That will be this one, I think. Maybe I just edited it or something like that. It's really strange. Seems that compile is missing here. Oh wait, it's the hiding stuff again. Yeah, I just should have hidden everything. Or not, I don't know. Range filled. Yeah. You see, there is no fill. Because there is no fill, there is no add. Because there is no add, I don't need a preprocess separately. Absolutely not convinced that this is necessary here. I think that basically everything has to be done in initialize and then we compile. But then where do I preprocess? I'm not even sure. I can still see that in one of the old tests. Say this one. This is simply a characteristic, not a characteristic range. And the way this is doing it, it's doing a lot in initialize, including preprocessing. Okay. Yeah, it goes straight to compile, so there is no definitely no preprocess in the. Where was I? Still, I was here. I'm not going to do that one. Why is there no do preprocess here in the header? Do something. Compile, do fill, do compile. This is the range. I'm going to have a preprocess. Yeah. 4, 8. So this is characteristic, which skips fill and then just does compile, I guess. And this is characteristic range, which has now a do preprocess. Looks like a good keyword. Characteristic range preprocessed before compile. Preprocessed, do preprocess before compile. Preprocessed, wait, do preprocess. And then, yeah. Yep. Range. Right. Welcome, Ringley. Took you 5 months to join. Well, yeah, what can I say? Characteristic preprocessed. No, wait, that's characteristic. I'm gonna delete that one. No, it is a range. Okay, the main issue here now is that I'm totally not happy anymore with the name filled. So filled, it is not really filled until I did preprocessing, I think. Or is it dubious-ish? Especially this call. Which call? This is a header, I hope? No, it's not a header. Where's my call? This call. On the owning factory. It's calling filled. I have to add this one. But okay, on the other hand, you know, the only thing it does is let's see, CR characteristic range index, M characteristics, characteristic range index, update. Guess you'll have to follow that. Characteristics, what is that? Characteristics container. Boost intrusive pointer to a characteristic range. And I'm calling update on that. That would be here. Oh god, that. But okay, this seems to be only depending on index and begin range shift, which is passed. So everything that's being passed seems to be the only thing that it really depends on. Main count is range shift characteristic range index. Yeah, I wouldn't know whether it would not already be correct or usable here. Otherwise I would say before this was done just before compiling. I don't know, man, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to need to add a function called preprocessed number of running characteristic tasks, it's blah 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 signal preprocessed. Okay. And then I have to add that. Before that, And then we have to add data pipeline factory. So I guess something here. Compiled, filled. Theoretically, when they're all filled, we do this. And then I start to compile. And now I have to put in between here, pipeline factory, pre-processed. No, there's one down, sorry. Fill now does not mean preprocessed, it just means filled. So then preprocessed, this is the beginning of preprocess now. Once we are preprocessed, we can do this and then continue with compiled. So I have a new signal here, wait characteristic compiled. Really? I think it is very much the same. I need a return and I need a wait. And well, a wait for characteristic preprocessed. And then we want to continue at that one. And I need to send a signal. Set fill index is one thing, and here I set the set index hint map. But here I don't have to do anything. I think I can just copy this, put it in front of here. And this is then now we have added all shader resources. Preprocess. It's more than shader resources. Shader variables. Preprocess the shader code. Then we set this again, and then I run over everything, and we set send the signal C process. Yeah, I think this is it then ish. So now we're starting all the characteristics here at stage fill. To do fill, and then we wait until they're all filled, and then we go preprocessing. All that work just for a little stop here in between. But I think that is about it. Wait, let me first run C tags on this. Characteristics preprocessed does not exist. Preprocessed. No declaration matches at push constant. How is that related to what I just did? It's not the same error that we had, but it's different, but not related to what I just did. Highly annoying. No declaration matches add push constant, add push constants, batch. I don't think I use batches anymore, certainly not from characteristic range. My birthday. Privacy. Yeah, my whole age was privacy. Why do you want me to know my birthday? It takes a while. Yeah, not anytime soon. Yeah, that just doesn't definitely no batch here. That's the inline function for add push constant belonging to. I don't think I can switch to that, which is annoying. I have to fix that as well. Seek XX doesn't exist. What? How can I have an add push constant inline .h and not .cxx? Anyway, here's the add push constant. Got nothing. Yep, no .cxx. Yeah. Yawn. 334 error pipeline factory characteristics preprocess was not declared in the scope. So I have a field here, but not a preprocessed. Pipeline factory itself, okay. Didn't add that. Is that all? The editor is a new Vim. Can I show that? What the version is? No, that just works. Unbelievable. NVim 0.80. Right. I don't know. Just make again, I guess. Eternal make and fix compile errors. That's my life at the moment, fixing compile errors. Called prepare shared resource declarations was not declared in the scope. Oh, finally we're back at the same error. Right, so, well. Now this now is called from preprocess, which means that I think that yes, we can do this like once, provided we have access to everything. Well, sorry, the painful thing is people keep asking for my editor, but what they really want to know is my font and the colors, neither of which are related to NVim. But hey, I'm all for that everyone starts to use NVim. Or maybe you ask it because I'm jumping around so easily without using my mouse. In that case, you would be right. That's NVim. What we want to do here is call this function at the first call to preprocess, which is now correct, provided that all the other things are there, but they are, because I called all my adds. There is just one little problem. All the add functions add their stuff to some local hidden variable that I do not have access to here. Or do I? No, I don't, because this is at shader stage. Or can I do with... No, I cannot. That's annoying. Yeah, I kind of have to do a merge in between. And then give access to the first call here. You know, that one call definitely no longer has to be done from here. No, it doesn't. It has to be done from the factory after it merged the data that is going to be used here. I won't need this anymore, I think. Because yeah, we're going to do it from the factory. I think. Yeah. Okay. Then I need the following variables. Really, I have to add even more stuff here. What else? What else? What am I going to add? Okay. Guess I'll have to put that here. Okay. So that would be this one. And everything that field set index uses to this one, but it is what I just copied already. And this one, although I'm not sure if that is being filled inside fill set index ins or not. So who is filling this? Where does this come from? Let's answer that question first. PS. There is a try in place here and here. This is just a find. This might not even be this thing that I'm looking for. What am I looking for? This. That would be, I think, the shader input data.h1, and not that. What is the type of the thing? The type is a standard map. Set key to set index int. This one too. Really looks like a duplicate to me. This and that. I don't know. I'm gonna go for that. This is the one, the place where it is being filled, which is in prepare shader resource declarations. Yeah. Hello. Okay. That is being filled. It's not being used. I'm an idiot. Okay, then what is this? Using. Again, that one. Wait. That didn't work out. Well, finally something simple. Seems that is the only thing that is really required to be filled. And that one is same file, yeah, 313. Register shader resource. So those are the add functions, yeah, both. Called from characteristics compiled. Okay, but that is definitely something that happened later then. Well, okay. I guess I'm going to assume that it is just all the end functions. It's beeping again. Okay, my what is it? Hold it. The wash. Anyway, I'll be right back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to And now after, wait, that's not true. After being filled, yeah, I just need to, you know, either I go to bed now, or I wind down quickly and then I go to bed, but I just don't, I think it's too early. I want to go to bed at 1 a.m. But I just click this thing away. So I'm going to move it, I think. Who did that pop up? Because it's not in my calendar. I have my lunchtime in my calendar, but these days I'm still sleeping by that time. At dinner, I don't never see that. And then going to bed, and then it is suddenly not here in my calendar. It has to be. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Next time I get a pop-up, I have to have a good look at it. There's an exclamation mark here. Send feedback. Yeah, no, it's something else. It's now 8 before midnight, but I want to stop at 1 a.m. because I'm going to bed later and later. It's just not right. I really have to stop at 1 a.m. And then not start something else off stream, but really go to bed. Okay, before I was so rudely interrupted with something that told me to go to bed, this is something that must happen after we have filled. There, right, correct, yes. I mean, normally it was done by the first call to preprocess. And here I'm telling the characteristic to start doing preprocessing. So by doing it here, that is exactly, you know, before preprocess is running. So that's good. But it has a weird input. It has input from multiple characteristics, and its output then also needs to be made available, I guess, for all the characteristics here while doing the preprocessing. Or does it? Yep, well. Got to do something. I'm going to move, I guess, this function to pipeline factory. Just like that. No longer called from there. Let's copy it. And then because this is using required shader resource plus characteristic list, might as well move that, and then everything that was using it stops compiling. And then at least I know where, my data was. That has now go to the pipeline factory. So that's an idea. I guess the set key to set index int is the output here of this thing. So I'm going to move this from here. That's a shader resource plus. Oh no, that's something else. List of shader resource / characteristic pairs. Range plus range values with the latter added the former from the add functions like uniform buffer. Yeah. I'll just make it thread safe something. I think there's no need to put that in its own vector and then later, nah. Okay, so I'm going to delete this, and the other two are part of it, I think. They're also necessary. These are the three that we need. So I might as well copy all of them. Then make them thread safe. So delete them here, share input data, and then we are going to put them in the pipeline factory somewhere. Private stuff here. I don't know, let me just put it there. And I need to be thread safe, right? So I'm going to wrap them. Using list type is AI thread safe wrapper. Well, let's make a container type as well. Yeah, and these two can wrap them separately, or can wrap them, put that in yet another class, and then wrap that class. I think that makes more sense, and it's more work, of course. But since they are in the same, they're using the same index type, I might as well put just these vectors together. Let's define it right here, why not? Preferred and undesirable set key preferences. Still plural, I think. Right, okay. And then we still have to wrap it. Use the same policy as here. So what did I do? I moved these three now to the pipeline factory. And I forgot. Oh, I moved this one here to the pipeline factory. So you're gonna have to add this to the header file. Private function, what is it? Yes, it's a private function. We have to add it somewhere here. Where are my private functions? Nowhere. There's no private functions, only variables. There's not much here. Got to admit that. Okay, this is being called by the multiplex implementation, so let's put it above it. I can put it here. Is this still private here? It's protected. Yeah. I'm gonna put it here, I think. Private. Also the fill set index hints must be moved in here. So I'm just moving it, as in deleting it here. And putting that here. Pipeline factory. Pipeline factory. Right. I don't know. Also have to move the declaration, I guess. That would be that one. To do the pipeline factory .h. And why am I on private here? Jesus, what the? Which function was it? This one? It seems familiar. Yep, there it is. Okay, so well, also private. Delete. Next. Put it here. Called from. Yeah, that's that one. Yeah, see Diogo and the question about C. An error expression must be a modifiable L value. Well, L value means that it's on the left side of the assignment operator. That's usually modifiable, so I would have said expression must be an L value. But who am I? So I would, but on the other hand, maybe they add modifiable because people don't understand L value. L stands for left of the assignment. So your problem is that your expression is not modifiable. AKA const or something else like that. Field set index int. I moved it here. Okay. Pretty much in pipeline now, so these can be removed. The breakage of it all. So it makes heavy use of this thing, right? So Control T here, on back, yeah. There it is, not the file that I want to be in. Just escape from it. Have a good time losing your money because we take it all and give nothing back. Spammers are here again. Stupid spammers. What was I doing? Take the read log. I'm just going to pass it to that function. Oh. Guess it doesn't matter. It's a big function, isn't it? Till there. Was usage. Substitute that when it is followed by a dot by the same thing, but followed with an underscore in the dot everywhere, but minus the m underscore. Oh, not. Dot must be replaced by an arrow. Okay. And then search for the same thing, but ending on that, which exists a few times, quite a few times. Okay, let's go from the top. Which function is this? Is this our function? Yes, set fill index. And then if I go to the bottom and we search again, we go to the top. So it is this only, that's the only function. Might as well select everything again, or not too late, I guess. Could have used the same selection. Anyway, okay, I definitely forgot now if I have it in my mouse or not. I'm gonna assume, I'm gonna guess I have it. It's stupid, but yeah, I do. No, it didn't change the header yet. Which was it? This one? Pipeline was not declared in the scope. Did you mean Vulkan pipeline? In pipeline factory. In pipeline factory. I guess that is because we are already inside pipeline. Oops, we are not. We are inside task. Task, yeah, this one. Yeah, I deleted the pipeline somewhere, but I don't know where anymore. Guess that will be another compile error. Hello, AWS. Stop. template argument 2 is invalid. Yes, it is. The script was not declared in the scope. I think this is the one where I deleted it. This script was not declared in the scope again. Yeah, I'm starting to think that pipeline factory should be in the namespace. Just Vulkan pipeline actually, at least in Vulkan. Maybe I should create a Vulkan task, so I don't have to repeat a Vulkan everywhere. The editor is a NeoVim and Vim. Okay, I had it. Too often. I can wave to yourself. Edit. FAQ. Where's my FAQ? What? Oh, there it is. I think it's more important than my age. Question. What editor are you using? Answer. NVim 0.8.0 with font height inside a true color console terminal. That's a bit different. Terminal console using font. Edit current profile, appearance, fonts, deja vu, sans mono 16 point. Deja vu, sans mono 16 point. And syntax coloring as per repositories. Yeah, okay, next stream it will be in the description. At least I am not sure if it is already there, because I just edited it. Could be. And now I forgot, of course, what I was doing. Well, I go to bed I stop streaming definitely in half an hour. But you're not obliged to be here, Post Bunny. You can do whatever you want. But you say it is in 1 hour and a half? Well, you have to leave now. Anyway, I intend to stop in half an hour. If it sounds, yeah, I don't know what a Steam Deck is, but if it is a bit expensive, then per minute seems nonsensical. If it sounds to be good to be true, then you're probably being scammed. So do never, ever give personal information. Like they start, they have a wonderful show, lots of people are believing it. Are getting, actually, you see on the show that they are getting the prizes and they're very happy. And you're missing out, and the only thing you have to do is type in your personal information. Maybe they don't start with your credit card number, but once you start typing and you have already typed your address, you think, yeah, well, why not? You know, at some point you start to believe it. That's how the scammers work. I don't give anything ever. I'm like maker. I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't believe anything. Hello, Tom. I'm working on a Vulkan engine. And then a detail of a detail of a detail of a detail of that. And I'm so deep into it that I forgot what I'm doing now. I was describing it with stumbling around in the dark in a very large room where everything was tumbled together in one big mess, and I have to sort it out in the dark. Well, I have a tiny flashlight, but that's about it. So come back in a few weeks and then maybe it compiles again. Or you can stay and see me work on something that doesn't compile. And I forgot again what I was doing. Chat is distracting. Maybe if I do undo or redo, I see it. Okay. Oops. There are also pipelines that are, let's say, pipeline. There's one. There's probably a lot of those. Vulkan pipeline. Using namespace. What the hell is partitions defined? Vulkan pipeline partitions. Now you see, that's what I mean. And it didn't even give an error. And I'm going to use a vulkan period. Then maybe you can do that. Okay, now I can just use pipeline, and I don't need to use the vulkan anymore, because that's kind of ridiculous, I think. Delete it again. Okay, how many characters are that? I can just set 2F colon, but it's a very, very difficult. Wait, D2F colon, that's 4 characters and all over the keyboard. 1, 2, 3, 8. That's maybe better. 8x. Yeah, that's easier. Or I can just, oh, I don't want to delete that. I don't know which, I don't even know which function I'm in now. Pipeline factory multiplex. Yeah, no. That was a bit too quick. Undo, yeah, see. I left my function before I knew it. What is this function? That's my field set. Really weird. Don't be sorry. How young are you? Swatoslav Komisarik. How old are you? Yes, either the lag between the chat or I'm impatient. I mean, I think I ask a question and then someone answers, but if it takes a whole minute, I'm like, what? Is the lag that big again? But then again, he could be doing the same thing as I am, not looking at the chat. Logical device pointer. Okay, nobody gets this. What is it complaining about? Error cannot convert logical device const pointer to task logical device. Hey, it's confused about where logical device lives. Vulkan. I guess I have to put Vulkan in front of this. Oh, that's really weird. Really weird. Okay, I'm guessing Swatoslav is 12 years old, because he probably left immediately after he said, okay, sorry. You chased him away, Post Bunny. Scared him away. Hey Lance, did you have enough sleep? It's kind of weird, or interesting, more or less. I say using namespace Vulkan, and then I use a logical device, and it still uses a task logical device. 4 hours. Dude, what are you doing? Go to... What, I'm now guessing... previously I said, can you go back to bed? But maybe you just go to sleep too late. That's dangerous stuff. You get used to it. I can know. If you do it too often, then at some point you start so used to the fact that you have more hours per day that is starting to get very hard to go back to normal sleeping times. It's not good. Pick a time that you go to bed and then go to bed. I mean, a reasonable time. not so that you can be in bed for, I don't know, 8 hours at least. I have this favorite fantasy for me. What's fantasy? Yeah, I guess that's the right word. To think of when I go to bed and I want to fall asleep. I would like to talk about it. It's interesting. I have this, even from very, very young, at least 12 or something. I think also, yeah. I have fantasies about having a force field around myself. I think it came from a book. I once read a book where there was a character who had, I think, a spaceship landed somewhere in the neighborhood. It must have been a book for children or for boys. And out the spaceship that there came some kind of green glow out of it. So I started fantasizing about having a force field like that. So it was a moldable greenish thing that would protect me, but also I could use it to manipulate things. So basically telekinesis, but then, you know, a green blob would grow out of me and grab something or move something. Or then it would be telekinesis. Anyway, lately I have made way more technical, because I was thinking continuously about how it exactly would work. So you could write a book about it, I guess. Maybe even a movie, make a movie. The idea is as follows. You have a field which is controllable in a certain way. Like, say you have a dial, and if you turn the dial to one side, then there is no tension on it, and it just keeps exact same shape as that you give it. That is, imagine a field, and then if you press with your hand against it, you feel nothing, but the shape of the field just follows your hand. So you stick your arm through it, and then your arm is there in the, how you call that? Oh man, my English is so bad when as soon as I start talking about things that are not coding and stuff like that. I think from Blender I know the word extrusion, but that is not what I meant. But this is more a dent. So I need a drawing. I need a drawing thing. Come back to that one drawing sign that I had. Okay, let's stop coding. Where's my browser? Yeah. So we had a free drawing thing. Sketchpad. It even remembers what I lost. Yeah, it still works. And now I have to reset this. How can I bloody reset this? I hate this site. Why is it not just a simple menu of hello, I want to start over? Can you go back? Is that the way to go back? All the way go back? No, also not. Plus new. Ah, okay. We have something. Grid, create. There it is. Okay, so I have this force field, and then suddenly everything is again green. Force field. And then if you stick your hand through it, so you're standing here, and you're sticking your arm through it like this, then the force field just takes this shape like that. And then if you retract your hand, then force field is just keeps the same shape. But it kind of knows which part is close. So, for example, this part of the force field is now closer to this part of the force field than to the original that we had here. Conforms to your shape, yeah. So if you move your arm upside and down, you would get this. So you would just move along this, you know. The force field does not have a tension to make its volume larger. So the volume in this case would be everything on this side. And if you push into it, and then it just extrudes, if that's the right word. But if you move your arm upside and down, then it tends to think, well, I'd rather do this and move, stick to the underside of your arm than do this, this gun. Because then the volume would really, really increase like that. Okay, now we have this dial, so now the dial is on 0. If you put the dial on, say on 1, then there is some tension, and then the force field wants to minimize its service a little bit, but over time. So you can put your arm into it, and it would still stick like this, but if you retract your arm, then it would, you know, slowly go back to flat after a while. Now it has more. It has more. What is it? Characteristics. Namely, you can also make the volume grow. I mean, maybe I'll stop ahead because a lot of fantasy went over a laboratory, without someone took me in a room with a laboratory. So you have this room here. Just drawing over the other thing now. I want a engine just doing new. What the fuck? I don't know how to clear it. So the idea was you have this room here. It's a box. So this is the laboratory. And it's in two parts. So I have a door on this side, and there is a door on this side. And we came in on this side, and the dial was here on the wall. And then we can play with this side of the force field. This is the force field here. And then there's nobody in this room. But there is, say, an anvil here. You know, it's bolted to the ground, something super strong, which has a iron rod on it. It's a steel rod. I don't know, something super strong. Now, if you turn the dial such that no, actually, if you move your hand as well, I think I'm kind of confused. I never really got all the rules sorted, I think. But okay, let's skip ahead. So I did a lot of fantasy was about this thing, but in the end, I go to a wearable force field, of course. No, it doesn't want to give me a new one. Oh, create. Oh. So I'm standing here, and I have maybe arm stretched like this. I have inside my body a little sphere, which is the generator of the force field. And it is controlled with an implant in my brain, yes, of course. Neuralink-ish. And when I think about I want to let the force field grow, it will grow it. But it has a certain limit. So the limit is like 2 meters or something like that. So you cannot grow larger than this. While I'm growing it like that, so I tell the force field, I give it a command to make itself larger. Anything that is not moving relative to this thing here. So for example, there could be someone else standing here. And I grow the force field, and it would just encapsulate the other person as well. And then it would be inside the same force field. But that only happens when the force field itself makes its volume larger, and only when that person is not moving. Because, and now a very important part of this force field, anything that comes in contact with it from the outside, so say someone here is firing a gun, there's a bullet here, a bullet with a high speed, and it's coming in contact with the force field, then every boson, are there bosons? I don't even know. Every atom, every particle is instantly stopped. The velocity in this direction, perpendicular to the field, is instantly 0. Without, just no way to get through it. So if you fire bullets, then the bullets have a very high speed in this direction, and then just ricochet off in that direction and being very deformed. I guess they look like this. Pioing, pioing. Or if you shoot them like like really perpendicular to the shield, then they just crumble up and then drop down as a dead weight, and a pile of bullets here. Also, if you shine with a light on it, then there is a cutoff. So you have here the frequency, and this is the visible spectrum. Here's ultraviolet. Then the only thing in this in infrared here, and this is the visible spectrum. Then the only part that can get through is exactly the physical spectrum. A photon that is in the infrared is 100% stopped. Nothing gets through. It's reflected, in fact. So photons, which are not particles, they are not stopped. They're just 100% reflected outside of the physical spectrum. Also, anything higher, purple, okay, ultraviolet is also reflected. So nothing dangerous can go through. And the total number of photons per surface area is also heavily limited. So if you would have a very powerful laser here, what did he put on lasers? Some laser sign, I don't know. So a warning sign, Shines a very powerful laser here, then I can just look into it directly, because the only thing that gets through it is as if you have a flashlight here, which isn't even very bright. So you can just look around, all the normal light from the normal environment, say room lamps, outside still. You can see normal, but if a nuclear explosion would take place right next to you, then you would see nothing else than just bright white. Oh, it's apparently a nuclear explosion that goes off right next to me. And also there is no impulse. What is it? Overdracht. So no matter the amount of force on the force field, there is no force on this thing at all. So you can just stand here and they can do absolutely anything they want. Worse, you can walk. If I start walking, and now this is a part I really didn't figure out, so if you want to use it in a book, Post Bunny, then you have a big problem, because I cannot think about how it would work that I can walk at all. I mean, the ground is here. How is that different from anything else? Yeah, there's no recoil on anything. But I kind of skipped over it, so I want to be able to walk. So if I walk, then the volume of my force field is not changing, and therefore nothing can get in. You can only get in by just standing here still, so something that stands still, and then growing the radius of the force field, then it comes inside. But if I keep the radius the same and the volume the same, then it is 100% impenetrable. And the fun thing is that if I start walking, then that's the same. So nothing can get in. So if you have, say, I did draw a child here. There was a good fantasy. I was somewhere, and there was a huge building. So like, I don't know, a huge building, and a child is standing here, and the building was exploding here. So the building is falling down. In a huge amount of concrete falling down like this, right? So what I do, I step very close, and then I make my force field grow. So I include the one that I want to protect. And then the whole building drops in front of us. But okay, so I'm standing here with the force field around it. And the whole building is like this, ends like this. Absolutely safe. And then I start walking in, it's my phone, and I start walking in that direction. And there is no trouble walking in that direction. So all the rumble here, all the concrete, all the stone, all the iron from the concrete, it's just, it doesn't matter how much force it requires. It just goes away. It's just pushed away. So I just walk this direction, and then after a while I'm here, and then all of this is pushed out. And if it requires so much force that, say, it explodes away, or it becomes a rod head, or maybe even the stone is melting because of the force, and the lava is pouring out here because we walk in that direction, then that's what's happening. Who cares, you know? Okay, and then of course I want to be safe at all times. So if I this is in the protective mode, but if I just turn the force field off, in the sense that I say, okay, minimize your own volume, then it will retract until it is pushed against a little bit. So it's really very close to my body then, like this. That the force field takes this shape. Very, very close. Yeah. But it still has the same properties. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a millimeter from my skin. If you fire a bullet at it, I don't feel anything. And if I move my arm, I can just move whatever. I don't feel it. And then I had the following idea also. If the outside of the force field touches the outside of the force field, so you're in an unstoppable force meets an unmovable object. Yeah, on the outside is unmovable, and if I start walking, it is unstoppable. And that is this question: what happens if an unmovable pillar is hit by an unstoppable cannonball? You know, that would be a paradox. But I have found a solution, because if my force field touches itself, it just disappears. So it just opens up. So you make the intersection. And so, for example, I have a hand here. This is one blob around one hand, and this is a blob around another hand. And I clap my hands together so that the force fields would overlap at the moment that they touch. Then there is a certain intersection here. And then the part of this force field that is inside that force field is no longer, and the other way around. So what the effect is that it doesn't bother me at all that this impenetrable force field is around me. I can just rub my hands, I can scratch my face, I can do whatever I want, because as soon as I want to touch myself, the outside of the force field here is touching the force field here, and then it just disappears. So it still feels like I'm completely inside my own bubble. And yeah, I guess I told a lot about my own personality now, because if that's what I like to fantasy about, I like to be, completely cut off of the rest of the world and feel 100% safe, and nobody can do anything to me. I'm even going so far as that, the government or the police, or whatever, they find out that they cannot harm me, and they cannot stand that. So I'm just doing nothing. I'm just living my own normal life, programming and going to the shop to buy food and stuff. But yeah, then the police rings my bell and they say, yeah, you have to come with us because you cannot allow anyone to have such power or whatever. And then I say, make me. And of course, when they try to grab me, then it's like they are not there. I can just continue moving whatever and however I want. And there is absolutely nothing they can do. They can start shooting. They can explode a bomb next to me. Absolutely nothing hurts me. That's why I like this fantasy. But well, they were damaged my house, so that pisses me off then, of course. So it's still about hiding then. So I fantasize about this, and the dream starts, I hope, when I dream about you are, how is the word? Immortal, but no, invulnerable, but you still have to hide. Because otherwise everything around me would turn into lava, because people can just not accept it. Well, a lot of the time I also fantasize about that they come for my help. And some aliens have landed, or there is some unknown threat underground, because everyone they sent into a cave, nobody did come back, absolutely nothing, and nobody came back. So they are scared, and then they say, you know what, we know this Carlo, maybe he will help us if we ask him kindly. So they come back me if please, I want to go into the cave and see what is there. So what do you think about my fantasy? Is it worthwhile to... can you use it in a book? Are you writing? You said I'm going to use it in a book. I didn't know you wrote books. Well, there is a limit. Like I said, there's a limit. I cannot grow it further than 2 meters, so 2 meter radius or something like that. I even left out details. It's even more detailed. Like the further you go, the more sturdy it is. Say, at the limit, it is not accepting new objects inside. So if I want to protect someone, then you would just stand really close to me, and then I can grow my force field, and I would contain them and protect them. But if, say, I'm in a corridor, a la Akira, that you know that movie? It's an anime. And at some point you see a boy who is a force field like that, spherical, by pure psychic powers. And he's mad. He has like blood veins on his forehead, and he is concentrating. And then you see the ceiling. He's standing in a corridor, and the ceiling and the floor both dent in, like voink, because of this force field. So. And that would happen also if this sphere is large enough, like way larger than my arm length plus something I might hold. Then at some point it becomes not possible anymore to enter it. So if I make it even grow further, the last piece is then pushing things away, even though I'm growing it. You wrote 7,000 words. That's not much, is it? It's not even a chapter. I wrote a half novel. I never finished it. I forgot how many words I have, but fucking lot. Really. So take a good novel, count the words, and I have half of that. A novel, a book. No, Akira is a classic. Okay, I'm going to close it again. And it's 1:06 a.m. I said I have to stop at 1 a.m. Really stop. So 6 past. I'm going to stop. We'll continue this another time. Okay. good night, and well, hope everyone had a bit fun. And now you know what I'll be thinking of when I go to bed. In an hour or so, I turn off the lights, and then I'll start fantasizing again about my impenetrable force field. 100 years of solitude? No, I cannot remember it. Is it magical realist? Is it science fiction like? Fantasy? So in any way something that doesn't really exist? You can read the plot, but if you want to read the book, you know what the book what I really can recommend. It's an old book. It is called. Oh God, I only know the Dutch title. This book. This is a very good book. I'm not sure if they have it in English though. I guess so. Keith Laumer would write in English. How would they have called this? Maybe you can just type in Keith Laumer books. Keith Laumer. Oh, that's Dutch. Keith Laumer in English, and then maybe the list of all the books that he wrote. See, it doesn't say it. It's not called the glass tree. I still don't know which it is, right? Oh, don't know. They could say when it was written. Damn it! What year is this written? Nobody wants you to know. (1977) first drug. Is that drug? Well, yeah, you don't know if this is for the Dutch version, right? (1977) seems very unlikely.